Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K Collector and I am back. Wanted to do a little bit of a different video here for you today. There's been so much talk about the 3DS and the DS and how those online stores are going to be closing. And so I thought that it would be fitting for me to do a quick 3DS and DS collection video. Why? Because I really started collecting heavily for the DS and 3DS towards the end of last year. Not even having a clue that they were going to be shutting down the stores. And you know, I made every effort to get all of the games that I absolutely felt like I wanted to have on the DS and 3DS. There weren't a ton of games on the 3DS that really caught my eye, but the DS has a lot of games, and I want to say I got about 20 to 30 games on the DS that just really were right up my alley. So I'm going to go over some of these here and talk about them. I'm going to share with you just, you know, the ones that I felt like I needed to have, and they range from, you know, different gameplay types, different price ranges, but they still fall into the same category of games that I like, which are usually platformers, action platformers, run and gun shooters, space shooters, beat 'em ups, and then certain RPGs are the ones that I like. So not gonna do too much jabbering or blabbering, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. And we're gonna start it off with a game that I thought was really cool when I first saw it, and this is Batman the video game on the 3DS. I'm just trying to got a little bit of a different setup here today, but as you can see, Batman the video game, this is a really cool side-scrolling game on the DS. A lot of action, running and jumping. You're Batman, so it's got beat 'em up elements. Really like this one. That's one that I went ahead and got there on the DS. Then next up we have the Star Wars Episode 3. This is a game that I also have on the PS2, and I believe that this is also available on the Game Boy Advance. I think this came out on almost every platform of this generation, but I felt like on the DS this was a good console to play this on, especially in its 2D sprite-based format, because on the PS2 and Xbox, this definitely had more of a 3D format. So this is one that I got. All right, and then we're gonna keep the train going. Got another cool beat 'em. Whoa, that one fell. All right, so we got another cool beat 'em up here, and that's Full Metal Alchemist on the DS, and this is a lot of fun. Now, the PlayStation 2 version of this game is also fun. It's kind of like an open world hack and slash kind of game, but this one is actually really cool. It has like a side-scrolling beat 'em up style to it, so this is one that I would definitely recommend if you're into that type of gameplay style. All right, and then next up we have, this is another sleeper, Marvel Superhero Squad. This is on the DS as well. This is a sleeper. This is a very fun game. Again, 2D side scroller. You get to play as all the characters here, but a lot of fun. Would definitely recommend it. Okay, and then next up here we have another, this is a classic side scroller action platformer, and that is Sonic Rush. So Sonic Rush on the DS, very cool game. Kind of reminds me of the classic Sonic games on the Sega Genesis. This is one that I would definitely recommend. All right, and the next one that we have here is pretty cool. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Nightmare, a Mutant Nightmare. I think that's what this is. So this came out again. This is another one of those games that came out across multiple platforms. Got it on the DS because the 2D version of it is a really fun game, and this isn't, I don't see this that often on the DS, so this is one that I went ahead and got. Next up we have some space shooters. So first up is Nanostray Part 1 on the DS. This is a very fun kind of like 3D shooter, space shooter there. And then you also have Nanostray 2 which is also a pretty fun one. Just gonna get that one to focus there. Yeah, so Nano Stray 2, another fun space shooter on the 3DS. Not a ton of space shooters on the DS rather, but still a fun one. Then we have Mega Man Zero Classic Collection. This is, again, Mega Man is a classic side-scrolling platformer, almost like run and gun shooter style. So this is a great one to have if you're into that genre. And of course, you know, I love my run and gun shooters. So Metal Slug 7 is one that you gotta have, that I felt like I needed to have in the collection. If you know Metal Slug, you know it's all about that action, hand grenades, all different types of weapons, tanks, airplanes, just a ton of fun. Next up, we have Bangai-O. Spirits. If you ever played Bangai-O on the Dreamcast, you'll know that this is a very unique action, like arena style shooter, but it's just a different kind of game. You really get, this is one of those games you kind of have to play to kind of get a feel for it. But Bangai-O is a very good one. Still continuing with those run and gun shooters, right? So Contra 4 is a must have. That's one that I needed to have on the DS. Again, very fun run and gun shooter. Looks amazing, especially when you play it on like a 3DS XL with the bigger screen. Lots of fun. Here's one that's another sleeper, action platformer. This is like Castlevania, Mega Man, and like Metroid rolled into one. This is Monster Tale, but it's very cutesy, so you wouldn't really think that. But the gameplay is really fun on this one. Would definitely check that out. Monster Tale. And then, of course, you know, couldn't have a DS without having this series, right? So Castlevania, you have Order of Ecclesia on the DS, so a very fun Castlevania game. You know about Castlevania. Then you have Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, another amazing Castlevania game on the DS. And then you also have Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow on the DS. So 3 amazing Castlevania games that I would recommend on the DS. Then continuing back with those run and gun shooters, you've got Alien, right? So you've got Alien Infestation on the DS, another really fun DS game here, run and gun shooter. And then last but not least, I'm really excited because I had this game for a while, but I finally found a complete in-box copy with the manual and the cover art, and I sold my other version, the one that I had where I had to get the reproduction artwork. But this is Commando Steel Disaster. This is such a sleeper game, but it's amazing. I'm surprised I don't see more videos about it, more people talk about it, but this is like Metal Slug on steroids. A very fun game. Would definitely check it out. And that kind of does it for the run and gun shooters in my DS collection. Now I'm going to take it on over to some RPGs and some sports games and just some different types of games. So we've got Tetris. This isn't an RPG, but I didn't know where else to put this in terms of the categories because I don't have a ton of games like this, but I do have Tetris DS on the 3DS. I got this, I think, for a couple bucks. It still had the old GameStop, I think, sticker on it. So yeah, that one. Then you have Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, right? So you got that on the DS, another fun one to have there. This is one that I got just for nostalgia's sake. I used to be a caddy back in the day on golf courses, and Tiger Woods. I loved golf games. When I became a caddy, that was when I really started getting into the golf games, like Hot Shots, Tiger Woods, Cyber Tiger on the PlayStation 1. So this is one I wanted to have on the DS. Then I like sports games, but I like sports games with a twist, and I thought that this was pretty cool. This is Dodgeball Brawlers. So really, I thought this one was cool and interesting. Played it a little bit. Definitely a cool action sports game. All right, keeping it going. Then we have Sonic Chronicles. This isn't my favorite Sonic game. This is very stylus heavy, and I don't really like using the stylus to play games on my DS, which is why I think my collection is so small on the DS, but it's cool. It's one that I would check out. Pretty decent game. This is a game that does require the stylus, but it's worth it. Ivy the Kiwi. This is a very interesting and unique game. I love the way this game looks. The graphics are great. The sprites, I just really like it. So Ivy the Kiwi, would definitely check that out. Interesting Atlas RPG here, Steel Princess. And this is a really cool action RPG by Atlus on the DS. This is one that I would check out as well. Here's a series we all know about, Kingdom Hearts, right? So the Kingdom Hearts, I think this is the, which one is this? This one is the 358 in 2 days. So that's this version. I recently got like the Kingdom Hearts collection for PS4 that has every single Kingdom Hearts game. So definitely looking forward to kind of just seeing what that's all about. Then we have a cool one here, Children of Mana. This is a pretty decent RPG on the DS. Would definitely check it out if you're interested in the Mana series. I do have Dawn of Mana. I think I just bought a Mana game on the PlayStation 2. Yeah, I think it was Dawn of Mana I recently got on the PlayStation 2. So that one is a cool one to check out as well. Got some more RPGs for you here. Check this out. So this is Lufia, Curse of the Sinistrals on the DS. Another really cool RPG here. Then we have one. This is one that I needed to get, Chrono Trigger. Could not get this on the Super Nintendo. Very expensive on the Super Nintendo. But this is a game that I had gotten like a reproduction of, and I always wanted like a genuine copy. And this is actually the best way to play it, from what I understand. You know, you get all the cutscenes without the loading times on the PlayStation 1. So definitely one that I wanted to check out. I'm not a super huge fan of this series here, but it was one that I wanted to check out just because it's an action RPG and I'm into the action. But this is Dragblade, and this is a different type of action RPG. I played a little bit of this. Gameplay takes a little getting used to, but this is a really cool RPG that I would definitely recommend. Okay. And then last but not least, here we've, in terms of the RPGs, we've got Izuna. So Izuna is a very interesting RPG, action RPG on the DS. And this is another one that I wanted to have in my collection. So now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the Mario type of games. And I never, you know, in all my systems, on all the Nintendo systems that I own and collect for, I tend to save the Mario games for last when I'm building my collection, because usually those are the most popular. Usually there's a lot of those types of games floating around. But when it comes to the DS, I'm noticing that that's not always the case, because those, you know, some of those Mario games are pretty expensive. So let's get it going. So first up, can't have a DS without owning this one, the new Super Mario Bros. On the DS. So pretty cool one to have there. Then next up, of course, if I'm going to have a DS, I'm going to want to be able to play this game, and that is Super Mario 64 DS. So really cool way to play Mario 64. Then next up, I always like this. I know Mario Kart was huge back in the day, but Diddy Kong, I don't think we put enough respect on Diddy Kong's name. So Diddy Kong Racing was available on the 64 and 64. It's also available on the DS. And just because of how different it is, this is one that I wanted to have and check out. Next up, we have, let's see here. We've got Mario and Luigi, Partners in Time. This game is pretty darn expensive. I was able to get it for free as part of like a buy two get one free or something like that over the holidays. Unfortunately, you know how GameStop does it. They only sent me the cartridge, so I had to find a case and then get some reproduction artwork. The artwork is pretty good. Now I just need a booklet so that I can complete this. But Partners in Time is a cool Mario game. A great action platformer here for you. This is Super Princess Peach. This is one that slept on. I left the sticker on this one. This one I actually got for free from GameStop as well. Did a couple trade-ins, and I also believe this was part of a buy two get one. So this wound up just costing me nothing. In fact, I think I wound up getting a $5 credit for this game. So pretty cool one here. Check that out, Super Princess Peach. Great graphics, a lot of really cool gameplay. It's a cool action game. And then you have Yoshi's Island DS. Again, this is a part of that bundle. I'm leaving some of these Best Buy stickers on here just because I feel like it does more damage to the plastic when you try to rip them off. So if they don't come off easily, I just leave them on sometimes, especially with the DS cases, because one time I tried to pull a sticker off and I didn't realize what it was doing to the plastic, but it stretched the plastic. So even though the sticker was off, the plastic was all wavy, which I'd rather just leave the sticker on if that's the case. Then we have another really cool one here. This was a recent pickup, Kirby Squeak Squad. Graphics on these Kirby games are great. The gameplay is great. These are some really fun action platformers. So this is one that I have in the collection as well. And then speaking of Kirby, we also have Kirby Squeak Squad. So Kirby Squeak Squad was one that I wanted to have. Not Squeak Squad, what am I saying? Superstar Ultra. I just did Squeak Squad. But again, great graphics. The graphics in these Kirby games are amazing. Would definitely recommend those if you're into Kirby. Then we're going to move on over to the Wario family. And the first Wario game that we have is Wario DIY. This was a game that I found for, I want to say about 10 bucks or something at a local thrift store. So this is one that I picked up. Didn't really realize how cool it was. Didn't realize the value of it until I got it either. I guess this is a sought after one. I think these Wario games, they're like low key growing in price. It's kind of funny. And then we have the last Wario game here is Wario Master of Disguise. This was a hard one to find. Unfortunately, this one that I got, the cover art is damaged. You can see it right there. So I am in the hunt for a better copy on this, but for now, I'll take it. I'll take it. So this is actually a pretty fun one as well. Graphics are great on these. And when I say graphics, I mean that 2D sprite-based graphics. Love those graphics. They look amazing. All right. So we went through the run and gun shooters. We went through the space shooters. We went through the RPGs and some of the, miscellaneous games. We just went through all the Mario games. I'm going to end it off with the sealed games. So we got some pretty cool sealed games, and I'm going to go through some of those with you now. Okay, so now we're going to go through some of these sealed games, and we're going to go through those a little quickly here. So first up, in terms of RPGs, sealed, we have Golden Sun. So it's a sealed copy of Golden Sun on the DS, Dark Dawn. From what I understand, this isn't the best installment of this RPG series, but this is one that I did see at a decent price online, below retail. So found that one, picked it up. This is another pretty cool sealed game that I saw. This is like a top-down action game, and this is Scourge Hive. This is sealed as well. When you look at it here, I was watching some of the gameplay footage. It just looks like kind of like a top-down action game. So this is one that I snagged as well. Then next up, we have here, let's see here. This is a classic. So The Legend of Starfy. So this is one that I wanted to have on the system. I actually had a loose copy of this game, played it, really liked it, and wanted to get it complete in box, and I actually found it sealed. So that's a very inexpensive game right there, Legend of Starfy. So if you find that sealed, you might want to grab it because it's pretty cheap. And I have a feeling that as time goes on, that's going to actually become one of those like staples for the DS, because I don't think that's anywhere else. All right, next up we have Thundercats on the DS. Also got this sealed in box. This is a pretty cool side-scrolling kind of beat 'em up platformer type game. So this is one that I got on the DS as well. The Legend of Cage. Pretty cool hack and slash, like 2D side-scrolling hack and slash game. So this is one that I also picked up on the DS. So pretty cool there. Had this on the PS2, sold it, saw it sealed on the 3DS, and decided to get it. Pac-Man World 3. This is like a $20 game that you can get sealed on the DS. I figured sealed, complete. I figure I get that. And that's pretty cool. We got Valkyrie Profile on the DS. This, again, isn't the best installment of the Valkyrie Profile series, but I did find this sealed pretty cheap on the DS. Went ahead and got that. Then next up we have Mega Man ZX Advent, again, sealed, brand new on the DS. Another cool Mega Man game. I think this again wasn't super expensive. I know there are some Mega Man games on the DS that are really expensive. This isn't one of them, so you can still find that sealed at a cheap price. This one I got from Video Games New York because it was like 29 bucks. Pretty good deal. And this was Radiant Historia, sealed in box. This is an Atlus RPG game. You know how Atlus does it. And whenever you can find an Atlus game sealed, complete in box, like, you know, brand new, it's always a good look. So that's one that I grabbed as well. This is, let's see, Lunar Nights on the DS. This is a pretty cool action RPG, very unique. Haven't heard of this anywhere else, and it's made by Konami. So, you know, it has all the ingredients for a really good looking, for a really fun game. The cover art looks great. It is sealed, but this looks like a reseal. I did check online for other like copies of the game, and I do see others with this same type of sealing, but this kind of gives me reseal vibes, but I'm gonna say that it's sealed for now. Then next up we have sealed brand new Phantasy Star Zero. So I've been a fan of the Phantasy Star series. I have Phantasy Star on the Dreamcast, PSP. Don't know if I got any Phantasy Star games on the Vita or anything like that, but I do like Phantasy Star. This is one that I was able to find complete in box, sealed. So grab that. Then we have Okamiden. This one still has the sticker on it from the store. You know, if it didn't have the sticker, I would think this is a reseal because, again, it has that whole reseal feel to it. So not too sure. Tried to find some other listings online to see if others were sealed this way. But this is Okami on the DS. A really cool way to play Okami. Very pretty way to play Okami. Then I don't have too many games in this series. I do have part 5 on the PS2, but Suikoden. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but Suikoden on the DS by Konami. This is one that I found sealed as well, so that is in the collection. So Suikoden, and then the last sealed game that I have is going to be part 2 of Izuna. I showed Izuna part 1 earlier in the video, but I have part 2 sealed on the DS, so went ahead and got that there. And so that does it for my Nintendo DS collection. You know, it's not huge, but these are all the games that really appeal to me. There are maybe 1 or 2 out there that I definitely want to add in, but I've pretty much gotten all the DS games that I want. So now we're going to kind of turn it over to the 3DS here, and we're going to go through some of those games here real quick. Okay, so now when it comes to the 3DS collection, I wanted to start it off with a few games that are considered World Edition games, and I'm not too sure. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, if these games are playable on US consoles or if they're for import consoles, but I've read on some message boards where they work. The 3 games that I got in this fashion, I have not tested yet, but I'm going to. So we're gonna go ahead and get it started here with this first World Edition of Kid Icarus. So this is one of the World Edition games that I have for the 3DS. It was tough to find this one brand new, just like a standard version or US version. So this is one I got here. This is a pretty cool like action, like 3D game on the DS. Then I got another cool one. This is Ever Oasis on the 3DS. This is also in the World Edition version of the game. Still looking for just a standard version of Ever Oasis, but did get that there on the 3DS. And then the last World Edition game that I got was Yoshi's Island. Now, I did get more of these from Amazon, but I started sending them back because they weren't, like, I got a few Zelda games for the 3DS that were also World Edition, and I sent those back because I wanted the US release of those games. Didn't really want the, like the import or the semi-import version. So that does it for those kind of like World Edition games. Then I've got a couple cool special editions, but I'll save those for when I go over the sealed stuff. For now, we're just going to dive into some of the more basic 3DS games. So now the first one that I've got here is Heroes of Ruin. Heroes of Ruin, rather. Sorry. This is a Square Enix kind of action adventure game that I picked up there. Got this from my local game store. They were having a buy two get one, and so I went ahead and snagged that up there on the 3DS. Then this was another cool one. This is like a side-scrolling, not 2D, almost like a 2.5D side-scroller. Pretty cool one here, Shinobi. It's crazy because I haven't seen a Shinobi by Sega on like this version of Shinobi on any other system but the 3DS. So if this is out on another console, please let me know. But saw this version of Shinobi, thought it was super cool, and went ahead and grabbed that for the 3DS. Then, you know, I love me some Castlevania, so Lords of Shadow and Mirrors of Fate needed to be in the collection as well on the 3DS. Really good Castlevania game. Not the best out of all the Castlevania games, but for the 3DS, it's a nice little change up. Next up, this game actually came with my 3DS when I bought it, and this is Animal Crossing New Leaf. So pretty cool Animal Crossing game here on the 3DS for you to check out whenever you get the chance. And then another cool one, this one also came with the 3DS when I got it, and that is Adventure Time on the 3DS. So cool, like dungeon crawling kind of game on the 3DS. So got those right there. Then of course had to get this one, the Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Pretty cool Kingdom Hearts game. Haven't gotten too deep into it, but again, it's a nice little change up from a lot of what you see on the 3DS, which is a lot of shovelware. A lot of shovelware on that system. It was really tough sifting through the games that I wanted. Here's a cool one. Got this for the Switch, but also wanted to get it on the 3DS. Hyrule Warriors Legends. So this is a really cool kind of Dynasty Warrior style hack and slash Zelda game that you can get on the 3DS. Looks pretty good too. So that was one that I got there as well. Then getting into some of the Mario games, right? If I'm going to have a 3DS, got to have a Mario game. And this is Paper Mario. Picked this up as a part of a buy two. So this was another one that I got there. And then also Super Mario 3D Land. So Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. Not a very expensive game, but a cool one. That is also on like the Wii U, I believe, and stuff. So pretty cool one there. Okay, now we're going to get into some of the sealed 3DS stuff. So we'll dive right into it. Starting it off with a cool one. Love this 2D side-scrolling action game. Yes, that's Gunvolt Azure Striker, or Gunvolt Striker Pack. This isn't the Azure. It is the Azure Striker Pack. So you have this on the Switch, and then you've also got this on the 3DS. I did get this sealed. Wanted to have this on the 3DS. I know that's where these games originated. Pretty cool one to have there, or at least it was there before the Switch. Next up, we've got some more 2D side-scrolling action. We've got River City Tokyo Rumble. Pretty cool one here that I picked up. You can play it in 2D and 3D. So this is one that I wanted to have. Has that whole NES 2D side-scrolling feel. Then you have River City Rival Showdown. Another side-scrolling beat 'em up here by the River City franchise. This has more of a 16-bit style. But again, just that beat 'em up feel, that whole Double Dragon feel that I like in a game. And so this one was one that I decided to get as well. All right, so keeping that train going, here's one that I think a lot of people have heard about, and that's Shantae and the Pirate's Curse on the 3DS. This is huge on the Switch. Limited Run re-released this game for the Switch. And that game I think is going for like 200 to 300 bucks. This one, not so much. This game is still relatively cheap. I think you can still get this for like 60 or 70 bucks. So if you weren't able to get the limited run version, you can get this version on the 3DS and enjoy it. And you'd have a physical copy of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So that's one that I got there. Then another sealed one. You know, I love me some hack and slash. So I went ahead and got Samurai Warriors Chronicles on the 3DS sealed. So a cool one to have there. And then of course, grew up with this franchise. I've got it across multiple platforms, and I thought the 3DS would be another great place to have Super Smash Bros. So I went ahead and picked up Super Smash Bros 3D. Another cool way to play that. Here's a cool one. Metroid Samus Returns. sealed on the 3DS. Basically a 3D or 2.5D version of Samus Returns, the original one for the Game Boy. I had that on the Game Boy. I still have it for the Game Boy, and wanted to get this one here. I can see where they got a lot of the, you know, the formatting for the more recent Metroid that came out, Metroid Prime. Is it Metroid Prime? No, Metroid. Which one is it? It's the new Metroid. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, so with that's the one with the EMI and that whole deal. Okay, so next up we've got Kirby Triple Deluxe Classic version. This is one that I got. I had bought this off Amazon and thinking it was this one, like the standard version, and they wound up sending me a World Edition, so I had to send that back. But this is a fun one, so this is one that I would definitely get. And then this is a fun one. I actually played this one because I had a loose cart copy of this game, and after playing it I wanted to get it sealed in box, and that's Kirby Planet Robot. This is a very fun 2.5D side-scrolling Kirby game. Lots of action. You can jump like to the front of the frame, to the back of the frame. It's got cool elements. It's just pretty cool game. So definitely one I would check out there as well. And then, of course, how could I have a 3DS without owning the Ocarina of Time? This is one that I also went ahead and grabbed. I had gotten the World Edition version of this, had to send it back because this is the one I wanted. The real Zelda here. And I don't have an N64, don't plan on buying one because there just aren't enough good N64 games to justify me buying the console, at least just for me. So this is a great way for me to play some N64 games, is by playing them either the virtual console on the Switch or just getting some of these physical versions here on the 3DS. And I got another one, check it out, Majora's Mask Zelda, again on the 3DS. So this is just another cool pickup that I got there, and that is in the DS, rather the 3DS collection. All right, figure I finish it off with a couple special editions, and then we're going to start it off, or there's only a few. This is Seventh Dragon 3 Code VFO. So this is a unique kind of Sega RPG game, action RPG. This is one that I wanted to have. I saw some of the gameplay, thought it looked super sick, and decided to snag that up. Special edition version, comes with some art and stuff, all the little extra goodies you would expect in these special editions. So went ahead and got that there. And then last but not least, we went ahead and got the Monster Hunter Ultimate 4. So this is the collector's edition, and I know we had Monster Hunter Rise come out last year. You know, that was a huge release. It felt like everyone was playing that game the first day it came out. It was all I saw on YouTube. It was all I was hearing about it from people that I know, friends. It was being played in my house. So I figured, you know, this would be a cool one to get on the 3DS just because the franchise is so popular. And it is really cool. It is a really cool franchise. It embodies everything I like about gaming. A little bit of hacking and slashing, powers, specials, you know, you can level up your character, wide open world for you to explore. And then with this one, you know, you actually get some of those extras, right? So a chain, cleaning cloth, a supply box, you kind of get the game, obviously, you get a little figurine. So really cool stuff here on the 3DS. This is one that I wanted to have, and I'm glad that I went ahead and got those. And so that does it for the DS and 3DS collection. I do have you know, I do want to do like a 2022 Game Boy Advance collection, because that collection has kind of grown some. Game Boy Advance is really cool, and you know, especially with the Analog Pocket coming out in a couple of years, or in a year or so, from what I understand, that there's going to be a feature on the Analog Pocket that will allow you to connect it to a TV, kind of the same way you do with your Switch. But I think the formatting is going to be great. You know, there's not going to be much distortion with the images, and to be able to play some of these like Game Boy Advance games, these DS and 3DS games. I mean, a lot of these games, especially like the Game Boy Advance games, they're more fun than like their Super Nintendo counterparts, and the graphics are better and there's more features. So I'm really excited to be able to play some of these Game Boy Advance games on like the Analog Pocket when it comes out. I also have some Game Boys around. Got the new 3DS XL, which is how I enjoy most of my DS and 3DS games. I enjoy right here on this bad boy. If it'll focus here. Yeah, so this is the new 3DS XL, and I picked this up, I want to say last year, and was able to, wow, it's really having a hard time staying in focus. But this is one that I picked up super clean. It came with the box, a few games, and I had not seen a DS this clean in forever. So when I saw it, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. You know, I'm all about that cleanliness on this channel, and so whenever I see something clean and fresh, I'll grab it. And I think they wanted, I believe I was able to get everything for under, with all the games and everything, I was able to get it for under 180. So a really cool deal, a really cool pickup for me at the time, especially considering what these, you know, these new 3DS XLs are going for now. When I can't enjoy them on that, a lot of times I'll just play my DS games and my Game Boy Advance games on the DS Lite. This is an amazing console that gets slept on a lot, and this is something that I would definitely recommend anyone who's into Game Boy Advance games and DS games. You can kill two birds with one stone with this console right here. You could get your Game Boy Advance games in the front, and then you could play your DS games here in the back. So definitely check this out if you get the opportunity. And again, that does it again for the second time with the collection here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. What DS games am I missing? What 3DS games am I missing? What should I be adding into the collection? Again, I'm all about that action, hack and slash. I'm all about the run and gun shooters, the space shooters, the beat 'em ups, the platformers. You know, that's what I'm into. And if I'm missing something, if there's a hidden gem out there for the DS or the 3DS, I'd love to know about it. Leave your comments down below. And I am the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.